Namaste, namaste, Vitruvians. Welcome to yet another spotlight. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Good morning, everyone. Wild day in the markets last 24 hours. So I've been tracking it pretty carefully, doing some trading and just enjoying the volatility. So it's going to be
So,
interesting to see how things pan out today with the summit meeting. I think it's starting right now. So if I'm not mistaken,
yeah, Mike, I
and I
forgot to
think
tell you, we are both invited, and I said let's not go there and do the spotlight instead. So,
yeah,
I wanted to prioritize our
exactly.
community over a White House summit meeting. So here we are. You
Yeah,
know,
we couldn't go. We had to do the spotlight.
spotlight was definitely more important. All right.
Yeah.
So um, we have. Oh, look at that. Uh, Jen is saying next big smile, have some great news coming, I guess. Do you have any great news, Mike?
Yeah, I think we have some good news.
Yeah,
I think we
okay,
have
all
some
right,
good news to
cool.
share.
All right. So I'll tell you this though. I'm excited to start my weekend because I got a lot of work planned. Who in their right mind is excited about starting off their weekend early so they can get a lot of work done? I am. But so today's spotlight is going to be short, but here's the thing. It's going to be very impactful. Very, very impactful. Okay? So that's what we are looking for. Um, we've had a good week. Lots going on. Heads down, working on things. So let's get started and report on some of those things and get going. Here we go. Let's add this to the stage. All right, we are on. Welcome everybody to season 6, episode 10. It's March 7th, 2025. This is Vitruveo Spotlight. I'm Nick Kalyani, founder and CEO, and with me is Mike Purdy, the COO. And in the spotlight, every week we highlight what happened the week before and give you the news on what's coming up in weeks ahead. So, without further ado, let's get going. We always try and start with protocol, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. Last week, I talked about how I had set up a series of meetings with Nelio in order to get going on the protocol. I'm very, very excited to report to you that we had a couple of those meetings. Testnet has now been updated with very stable and efficient rebasing, and it is working swimmingly. It is working really, really well. And we are now working on upgrading to the newest version of Go Ethereum. And we are throwing in the two features that I've talked about previously. Built-in random number generation. As you know, we have Blocks, our gaming platform that we want to build on Vitruveo protocol. And in games, random number generation is very, very challenging. You usually rely on a third-party oracle to provide that service, but we would like to build it right into our protocol and make it easy for developers to build games in a reliable random number generation in a reliable way, which cannot easily be circumvented. So that's coming, and also we are going to cap the gas fees at 10 Gwei. So it's the default is 4 Gwei, but sometimes it goes up. We want to make sure that it never goes over 10 Gwei, so transactions remain very fast and affordable. Uh, if you want, you can try out testnet rebasing. We've clocked it at every 2 minutes. So literally, it's a very small number of transactions too. I think it's like 20 or something like that. So go give it a shot. You can go to faucet.vitruveo.xyz and get yourself some test Vitru, and generate a couple of transactions, and then watch your wallet. The key thing to watch is the balance there, where every time there's a rebase, it will automatically increase. So if you want to get a taste of what's coming into mainnet very shortly and how we will have fairly regular rebases, because I believe we can easily meet the 10K starting goal for transactions on mainnet with some of the things that I know are coming up. So will give you a good test of the magic of rebasing with Vitruveo protocol, where you do nothing and the balance in your wallet just goes up automatically. All right. So that is it for protocol. We'll keep meeting, and maybe I'll try and see if Nelio can join us next week when we will have finished, I believe, the changes and the upgrades. Well, we'll have the software done, and then it's the rollout, which we'll go to the VTech team with, and we'll start rolling it out, and then it'll be really really exciting. So that is the news on the protocol. The next piece of information is news is about Vibe. I cannot express my gratitude enough for everybody. Thank you so much. But we hit our goal. We have zero available Vibe units. The community took care of them all, and I'm very, very thankful, very grateful. A couple of housekeeping notes there. Uh, there are some Vibe due to liquidity providers. That campaign goes through the end of March, and there's 10K Vibe reserved. So I've taken care of that. We've made sure that the validator allocation is accurate, which is 113,300. So that's also covered. And I think that's about it. There might be a little bit of marketing vibes that are due some folks. For example, we did say that people who purchased the $100 and above bundles on this particular minting would be made whole. I committed to that, and so there is allocation for that also. So those are set in reserve, and but there are no more Vibe available. It's all done, and congratulations to everyone who has that in their wallet, because as far as I can see, there's a bunch of new projects coming on board, and almost every one of them has. Uh, I think 2% is the floor. I think there's higher Vibe contributions coming in, so I'm really excited about that. So this is very very good. I see notes in Discord about folks being able to use the credit and mint feature in order to sort of merge their vibes or split them up in some cases, as the case may be, and that's good. I'm glad people find it useful, and that's it for Vibe. So now, from now onwards, the story on excuse me, the story on Vibe is going to be about the revenue. I know we've kind of slowed down a bit, but we are now working on print on demand, and that's going to increase the sales quite a bit. Excuse me, one moment. Yeah, I just want to clear my throat there. You know what? Good time for a sip of chai. All right. Our next update is on Exhibit. So one of the things that I reported on last week is that how we are heads down focused on print on demand, and I'm very pleased to report that that has indeed been what has been going on. We've been focused on it with all our attention, and as of right now, we've got the overall workflow completely nailed down. So everything from the point where the user goes in, discovers an artwork, to wants to print it, we've to the point where they select what product they want, or products rather, pays for it. It goes to Gelato. Gelato ships it, well, prints it, then ships it, and the user, the buyer, receives it. So we've got that nailed down. When that happens, after the credit card settlement period is complete, which is 30 to 45 days, we have funds distribution, how that goes. And it splits up into, yes, Vibe and the artist and the curator and the store, all of that. We got that done. And this is something I'm really, really excited about. We've got the chroma key mockup engine code done in prototype form, and we'll be rolling it out overall. So that's a mouthful, chroma key mockup engine. What that means is, if you go to any print on demand store as an artist now and you want to create your own store, you have to go through the process of uploading your artwork, choosing which products you want, then deciding which mockups you want. Some of them are available, some of them are premium. You have to pay for them in order to get the really good looking mockups where things are at, at an angle, or in people are carrying it or holding it or using it and things like that. So I'm very pleased to report that for the first time in the world, we on Vitruveo with Exhibit will have a print on demand capability on Exhibit, where all the mockups, all the products available will be automated for everybody for free. So any artwork you go, when you go to the print on demand portion of it and try and buy it, every product will have beautiful mock-ups of their artwork in perspective, with shadows, with light, all of that, and it's all done on the fly in real time uh, generation. Artist does nothing. They really just have to upload their print media, and that's it. So really really excited about that, because we've made the level of effort for the artist 0 minutes, literally 0 minutes. It's all done in real time, and it's all free. You pay nothing, and as we'll start off with, probably I'm gonna say around 10 to 15 products. We're just whittling that number down, but as soon as we've proven the model, we're gonna unleash and have lots and lots of different products. These mock-ups, by the way, include not just your artwork on products, but remember we have display category of artworks also. So we will have mock-ups of your artwork in scenes, living room, bedroom, kitchen, office, all kinds of different scenarios where you can see your artwork. You do nothing, it just works. I'm really really excited about that, and it works with perspective, shading, light, etc. As I mentioned, it even works with curvature, so you can see your artwork on a mug, etc. All of this done in real time. So speaking of media, we also determined that the media size requirements that we initially proposed, 12,000 by 8,000, were a bit extreme for folks who may have older iPads, with Procreate and things like that, or computers with not as much storage or memory. And so we made a decision to dial that back a little bit and reduce it to 9,000 by 6,000 pixels. Now, if you divide by 300, which is the dots per inch, you can figure out what the largest size print we can do. I think later on we'll make an exception and make it possible for people to upload higher resolution for much larger and much full size almost canvases and things like that. But we believe that 9,000 by 6,000 pixels will address most of the scenarios, and will be really really uh, adaptive, almost useful for most artists, because their current equipment will handle it really well, and it'll be easy. It is not an undue burden on them. We don't want to burden our artists in any way. We want to make things very very easy for them. So that is obviously there's going to be a lot of questions. I was in the Mystique's space last Sunday. There were a lot of questions about print on demand. We want to answer those questions in a very formal manner. In When I say formal, I mean make sure that every question is answered and you have some takeaway material also that you can reference. So we will plan a dedicated workshop for print on demand as soon as we've got enough of it done, where we can show you. The first thing that's going to happen is that the print media upload feature in Studio is going to light up. So that's what the team is working on, and I believe they will have it in QA today, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe as early as Monday, you can start uploading, and we'll have that workshop soon. I'll speak to Pam and Doc, and we'll get that organized very very quickly. So we are essentially fast tracking now with print on demand, because we've de-risked it. Some of the risks we had were around, would this mock-up engine work, because without it it's not possible for us to do it. Artists would have to manually go and do it with the artwork. So it was a huge risk, and I'm very pleased to report that it's completely de-risked. We also needed to make sure that we could have a proper workflow. We've got that covered, no problems. We need to make sure that with an API we could handle the ordering. We've got that covered, no problem. So we've de-risked this now, and I feel very confident that we can fast track it. And before this month is up, we should be able to have some beta print on demand features available to you with some of the products. So super super excited about it, and we'll keep focused on it and keep accelerating on it. And so if we can do it faster, we'll get it faster. Okay, so that is the news on Exhibit. And Mike, I know you're pretty excited about print on demand because we're gonna make money. So do you have
Yeah.
hear anything on that?
Yeah, I think this is great progress. We still have a little bit of ways to go once we onboard Gelato and do some test transactions and get the credit card processing worked out. But as you'll find in a little bit later in the spotlight, we're definitely going to be revenue focused for the blockchain. It's we're at that time where we can scale and start actually working on our MVPs and building those out. After all, we're a business and we want to make sure that we're generating revenue and not have to rely on seed capital and so that operations are covered by burn rate and by the revenue. So that's really where we're shifting, and I think it's the perfect time to do that. And I think print on demand is one of the vehicles that we can accomplish that with. So we've still got a little bit of ways to go with print on demand as well as some of the other verticals, but I think this is a great start for sure.
Yeah, when the print on demand comes out, Gus asks, "Will the credit card come out at the same time?" Yeah, actually, it's um, there. We can't have print on demand without credit card. Let me put it that way. So print on demand is exclusively credit card. You cannot pay with crypto. So that is an important piece of information there. So all credit card purchases, and really with your mobile, as I said, we are mobile first. So it's going to be Apple Pay, Google Pay, and whatever other mobile payment systems are there, etc. So we really want to make it mobile friendly. Scan a QR code, and buy right there, anytime, anywhere, and yeah. So it's gonna be really, really a pleasant experience, and I'm excited. The combination of being able to create your own store in 10 to 15 minutes with print on demand capability is going to unleash, I believe, the affiliates in the world, because it's an opportunity to make money very, very fast and very, very easily. Low effort, high reward, high income, also. So yeah. uh I see some comments here. Jen, yeah, yeah, it is. So Jen says we've simplified print on demand so much here. Speaking from our experience, doing all this on our own is exhausting, especially mockups. So thank you, Nick, and the whole team. Yes, we really believe that this is going to be a game changer for Exhibit. It really puts Exhibit on the map, because no one else has this capability and at the scale that we are doing it. And uh, the icing on the cake is that all print on demand images, wherever they are, whether they are on your shirt, or a tote bag, a mug, or whatever, all of them will be AR enabled. So we will have utility even in the print utility beyond that. So you'll be able to experience augmented reality from the print on demand products also. uh, all right, now let's go on to our next topic, which is an update on something that people have been asking for a bit. So let's go ahead and give that update. All right, we talk about Passport. Passport's primary objectives were to manage supply to other chains, because we've been trying uh, to really make sure that we could have some way of controlling sort of the candles, the red candles, green candles on some of the exchanges. And the second objective was to manage access to Discord channels. So we want to have Discord channels where people have been identified and we know who they are, so we can have conversations that are free and unrestricted. Now, we've been targeting a price of $1 on weeks for implementing Passport. Now, anyone who looks at the chart can tell you that that is an unlikely goal for us to attain in the near term. It's just for all the various reasons we've talked about in prior spotlights and all that. So, what do we want to do about this? We want to we've been thinking about how can we adapt to the situation. Like any good startup, you don't make a decision and then stick with that decision no matter if the circumstances change. Well, we have information now, we have data, and the information has changed. And so as a result, we want to revise our strategic direction. So here's what we want to do. Uh, First of all, with the primary objective of managing the supply, we want to take that off the table. That's gone. And as we were just talking about print on demand and other things like that, we want to shift our strategic direction to have a laser focus on revenue generation. We want to really make sure that we can start getting that vibe revenue up, but really it's more about getting enough income so that we have operating capital and we are self-sufficient and don't have to, as Mike was saying, have to constantly be looking for seed capital. And so that's going to be our focus. And we also feel that as a result of this, what we want to do is we want to allow the market to direct the Vitru price. Mike, any thoughts on these comments?
Yeah, I think coming into the list on February 5th, whenever we listed the Vitruveo token, we wanted to do some experiments to play with our listing strategy, and we focused on putting a strategy together where we could isolate how does the supply and marketing tie in together with our sex listing. So because we had such a high initial supply from the airdrops, we did some experimenting, and we reduced the supply. We bought up a lot of the supply on the weeks on the central exchange, and we were kind of tracking the buys and the sells, and then we did some marketing and kind of got that into a really nice balance of supply. And what we found was anytime we would market make or purchase up some of the supply, we'd get a direct sell. And so we were kind of fighting it a little bit, and we're like, okay, well, let's just see how this plays out. And then the market took a turn just with the tariffs and some of the other news that came out with the Bybit hack and some of these other things. And we just said, you know what, we really do need to take a step back. We also saw some of the other challenges with the price imbalance between the DEX and the SEX. And we felt like if people purchase on the SEX, they might see the DEX price and say, well, geez, there's such a huge disparity. I could have bought on the DEX. And then we have restrictions, with the bridge, and we've taken criticisms for that being heavy-handed. But the whole idea of that was really to do some tests and see how we can have a successful list for the token. So we shifted gears a little bit, decided that we really want to focus on completing the MVPs, really focus on the 3 verticals, really focus on the revenue, develop out the Flix Fund, keep working, get aggressive on our game development, and really fine tune the revenue. And that's kind of where we're focused. So it's been a really interesting process, just going through what's working, what's not working, and we're really comfortable with kind of the next step that we want to take. So that's what I would say to that.
Great, thanks. Right. Yeah. So after a careful deliberation and getting a lot of feedback from many of the members of our community who are very, very focused and dedicated on Vitruveo's success, I am very pleased and very excited to report that Vitru is now 100% open. There are no restrictions on wrapping and unwrapping Vitru. There are no restrictions on bridging Vitru to and from other chains. There is now a new 10% bridge fee outbound from Vitruveo to other chains, and there are no restrictions on claiming vested Vitru. So everything is completely open. Uh, this is very, very exciting. We are now that much closer. Actually, we are there in terms of being as decentralized as possible, at least with respect to Vitru. There are no constraints, and you can have some fun. I think you should have some fun. There are now arbitrage opportunities because let's see, we've got our DEX, we've got Vitruveo Exchange, we've got Weeks, we've got Pancake Swap, multiple pairs, we've got Uniswap multiple pairs. So I think this is a great moment for our community, and I'm really really excited that we can let things go and let people have some fun. Mike, what do you say about this?
Yeah, we've been debating this for a while, and we were trying to look for the right time to pull this. We wanted to exhaust all other tactics, I guess, that we were working on, really to figure out, what approach we want to take into Q1. Um, I just feel like this is the best for the community. It's best for the project if we just open everything up. No restrictions, no criticism, no heavy-handedness, no centralization, nothing. And we'll just focus, Nick and I will just focus on building out the projects, focusing on revenue. The community will determine the price. So whatever the price is, everything will balance out. And we put a 10% Vitru fee on the bridging because we still want to manage the supply a little bit. We were thinking we were going to put it at 20%. We were thinking we were going to put it at 5%. We kind of split the difference and just felt like 10% is a good approach to go. We were also thinking about doing any amount under 1,000 will be 10%. Anything over 1,000 will be 20%. We just said, forget it. Let's just go with an even 10%. That way we can recapture, the treasury can recapture some of that supply and manage that number down a bit. And for those that want to freely trade or freely bridge over, feel free. And the good thing about this is that it's really going to level out all of the pricing across all dexes and sexes. There will be increased trading volume, which is great. A lot of us were looking forward to that. It'll be, there won't be any criticism in the sense of any faucets or anything needed. We'll still use the passports for some of the other tools that we're thinking about implementing it for. So we'll have more to announce on that. But I feel like this is the right approach, and I think we're all very good. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
really
exciting.
think
Yeah,
I'm really
it'll be
excited
volatile.
because
It'll be volatile at first, and
yeah.
but that's okay. That's expected, and I think we'll even out. And meanwhile, Nick and I can focus on developing. So I think it's a good strategy.
Yeah, this is also time for you, especially if you're an artist been sitting on your stash, to really think about, do you really want to dump an L1 chain token that you have managed to get through some of our promotions? It's something to really really think if it's strategically in your best interest to do that. I know that there are a number of people who are waiting to buy when people do that. So yes, the price is probably going to go down for a bit, but I know there's a lot of people waiting to buy. So that's let's see. Let's find our natural, organic, if you will, market price. Yeah. So
Mhm.
uh, now we can really focus on uh, uh, we know the supply is out there. We know there are people who got their coins for free, and so it costs them nothing, and so they're willing to just sell at any cost. But there's also a lot of people who see the long-term value, who believe in our vision, and who have seen our ability to execute at a world class level. And we are doing that with bare bones capital. Just think about what's going to happen when we are fully funded, and how well we can execute and how fast we can execute on that, and where this coin will go. So uh, good luck to everybody. Good luck to our community. Good luck to Vitruveo. This is going to be very, very exciting, very, very interesting, and have some fun. I think that was it. This is probably going to be one of our shortest spotlights, because with this news, this was
Yep.
it, right? This was the big news. So we can take some questions now. And I figured that no one's going to be paying any attention to us after we gave this news. I do want to say that uh, the changes were kind of rushed. So if there are any issues, let us know. We'll be monitoring Discord and we'll fix them. But the intent is that everything is open. So if you do run into any hitches or glitches, rather, just let us know. We'll fix them as quickly as possible. But everything is open. So here's the first question that I'm interested in taking. Nick, when's the buying blitz? All right, so I'm going getting away from buying blitzes now, and focusing more on regular buying, and responsible buying. In other words, what I mean is, I want to categorically, emphatically support those artists that are focused on long-term income. I want to uh, make sure that I support them. And so what I'm going to be doing is regular art shopping, and getting other collectors also involved in that, because we want to support those artists who demonstrate that they support the vision of the platform. All right, I think we can start taking some questions.
Okay. Gus asks, will the store have the option of getting the client's email?
um, no, that is not in the pipe, in the plan right now, because really we still want to create this model for a decentralized, um, kind of world. But here's the thing: what we can
We'll have
do
to do
is,
that with support, Nick. How is support going to be
the
handled?
artist does not need that. The store does not
No,
need
not the
that.
artist, but we will have it though.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
will have it when they open. For example, we're going to be using Zendesk for support. So when they send us an inbound email, we would have that. We would also have it with their Stripe payment. But what we will do is, we will give the artist the option of providing the buyer with their email. So if the buyer wants to reach out, they can do that. So there is communication capability. But that's a good question. But I mean, the thing is that this transaction happens between Exhibit and the buyer. It doesn't happen between the artist and the buyer. The artist is the subject. Their artwork is the subject of it. Having said all of this, we are experimenting, you know. So we'll learn, we'll see what works, what doesn't work, and we'll adapt along the way. But for right now, we believe that having maybe the capability for artists to say, yes, I'm willing to share my email, and we include that in the receipt they get when they buy, would be the way to go.
Yeah, this kind of piggybacks off that question. If the artist can collect emails, they can do notifications when a new art is released. I've always had the I've always had the vision that Exhibit eventually artists will be available for consignments,
Mhm.
and where a prospective buyer can reach out to the artist and say, hey, we have a special project. We kind of want, I always wanted this and I love your artwork, or can you do something custom? And I think I think eventually we can build that out. But I would love to see that. I think it's super, super cool.
Yeah.
Um,
So this thing about notifications, this is very old school. I must say. So here's the thing, right? We've with Exhibit, discovery is paramount. We want that to be a first class option, versus a lot of other platforms where discovery is opaque. So we give you so many capabilities to make yourself discoverable. The latest being store. Put your own portfolio in your store, or whatever. And if you recollect, probably 6 months ago, we started talking about RSS. It's still there, real simple syndication. So we don't want to rely on emails and things like that in a decentralized world. What we have is, for your store, there's an RSS feed, and whoever wants to subscribe to it can automatically subscribe to it and get notified. And there are a lot of, we will provide the ability for people to get subscribed to that feed through email. That's an easy thing to do. And so what we want to do is create scenarios where the artist doesn't have to do this. So literally in the question there, it says, if the artist can collect emails, they can do notifications. This is a marketing task. We want to do the marketing for you. We want you to focus on the art, and we'll figure out these channels and make them available directly to the buyers, so they can opt in to whatever they want to. And it would be the same thing. If you were to collect the email, you would have to have them opt in, and you would have to create a newsletter, or some such thing. Most artists don't want to do that. They don't want to well, we don't want you to have to take the effort to do that. We want to automate it and do it for you.
Yeah, there might be room for, chatbots or send a message or something like that that's more um, private, but we can definitely develop and build that out as we scale. Okay, let's go back to our questions here.
Yeah.
I'm not an art doer, but POD seems to light my eye. As a beginner, I can take part in this and make some POD clothing. Yeah, I think initially we're going to have prints, canvases, metal prints, that sort of thing, and then maybe mugs and more things that are more common, and then we can kind of branch out as we scale into clothing. But yeah, absolutely, you can purchase and license an artwork and purchase it, which
Yeah,
is
I'm
great.
just wondering if this question means something else, though, Mike. As a beginner, I
Mhm.
can also take part of this and make some print on demand clothing. The word make is throwing me off a little bit there.
Yeah. You're right. Well, yeah, you have to be an artist. So,
Yeah.
so if you upload some artwork, you can purchase it yourself or use another platform. But the whole purpose of the print on demand is really to purchase a license, and then what are you going to do with that license? What are you going to do with that artwork? You want to hang it on your walls, and that's the whole um, spirit of and purpose of that. So there's no passport needed, not at this time. There's no time or there's no passport needed for bridging per se. So all of that is free to go. Okay. What is the plan to show the Vitru staked for verse to be shown in scope as being staked? Thanks.
It's on the to-do list
Yeah,
along with
but
800 other tasks. So we'll just get to it.
yeah, but I think it will be in scope.
Yeah.
Is the intent now to bring all the artists ASAP to consign and sell? Yeah,
Uh,
I mean,
it,
a simple answer is
the
is
plan is to get hundreds of thousands of artists on here. So absolutely. Yeah. That's why we built
yeah,
Exhibit.
that's always been the plan. I think we're not going to go gangbusters yet because we do want an MVP done, and obviously search is the first MVP, but the second MVP for Exhibit is going to be print on demand. Once that is complete, tested, we've got some samples done. We have proper support to handle the transactions. We have the credit card processing worked out. There's some logistics we have to take care of for that portion, within the company, just due to accepting credit cards. So once those things are all done, and then we'll build a separate marketing campaign for Exhibit, and yeah, and then we'll go gangbusters on pursuing art buyers and getting more creators onboarded.
Yeah.
And we've got some really cool things to get creators onboarded that we're planning. The art buyers, we're hoping to snag that through marketing and through the print on demand.
Yeah. With this incentivizes us to move faster with Transporter and allow people to bridge all of their artworks, whether sold or not sold, on other chains here,
Mhm.
because then they can immediately take advantage of the print on demand license that is coming up. In the workshop that we'll have, we'll talk more about that print license. Currently in studio, you are limited and required to have a digital collectible license. That goes away next week when the print license will be enabled, and you can choose. You can have an artwork with only a print license, which is great for if you've bridged something over from, say, Ethereum or Binance or whatever chain you are on. You can bring it to Exhibit and you can enable it. You can consign it and make it enabled for print.
Okay. Is there a 10% fee for buying USD to Vitru?
No, there isn't. Currently, the USDC fee is basically 25 cents each way. Uh, and there are gas costs that we are bearing right now. We are bearing the gas costs everywhere right now, along with the bridge fees. And part of the reason why we want to implement the fee is to cover our costs, because we are essentially paying for everybody right now. And with USDC, it would not be 10%. We, as it says on the website right now, we may implement a 2% fee on USDC.
Yeah. Um, Nick, Mike, what are the expectations for turnover of POD that would be generated? We're not sure at this point. I, I I would be hard pressed to come up with any data. We're really focusing. We'll probably model it out a little bit once we look at the margins, and then we can kind of determine, do some financial projections on it. Maybe a 1 month, 6 months, 1 year financial projections on POD. We just need data for that, and we should have something once we look at the margins and see what's working, what's not. But it's definitely going to scale quickly with the marketing, so it remains to be seen. POD, there has to be communication with buyer and seller. Is there going to be messaging? We kind of touched on that earlier.
Yeah, just to clarify, exhibit is the seller. So there is communication between us and this. So the important thing to recognize here is the artist is not the seller. The artist has consigned the artwork to us, and we are the agent, and we are working on behalf of the artist to sell to the buyer. So yes.
To create multiple stores, can you use one email or need multiple emails?
Neither. You need a studio account, which allows you to have as many emails as you wish associated with that account. But it is a studio account that is the owner of stores, and you can create as many stores as you want, no restriction.
Okay. About API for NFTs for POD, are we the only blockchain with this function? Because all of our data on chain, could you elaborate more on this? Thank you very much, and excited about the future.
We currently have not considered or plan on having any APIs for print on demand. So that's one thing. In terms of the functionality of enabling automatically with just the addition of a license for your artwork to be available with print on demand, that is a unique feature we have. We do not know of any other platform on Web3 where you can do this. Almost every print on demand platform has the same model. You go and upload your artwork, choose the products, and then make them available for sale. And they handle the fulfillment for you, and you sort of manage the if there are problems with the orders. But generally, after once you upload it and set up the store, it should be fully automated. So it can be done right now on a one-off basis. What we are doing is doing this at scale, making it super simple. Really, you consign your artwork, so upload that 9,000 by 6,000 file, enable a print license, and put your price in there. For display, one price, and for merchandise, one price, and that's it. You're done. You don't have to do anything else, and we'll take care of the marketing. We'll take care of making sure that your order gets sent out to the print facility, and it gets shipped to the user, etc. So what we are doing is creating something that is about scale. Now, can other people do this? Of course they can. It has not been a priority, obviously, because the capability to this has been available for the past decade, but no one's done this for art at this scale. We are the first to do it at this for everybody, and for free at no cost. So that is what's unique. It's because it's of our vision. Our vision is long-term sustainable income for artists. I don't think many businesses have that same vision.
Yeah, I think also too, print on demand is actually going to, with True Level, once we get True Level through, we'll probably focus on that. That'll probably be our next step right after print on demand. I think the bulk of it is that's been built out, right, Nick? True Level?
Yeah, True Level, we were at 95%. And,
Yeah.
because the thing is, it's not just about implementing a feature. it's about educating people on it, answering support questions, managing any issues that come up. So we felt, okay, as soon as we launch True Level, there's going to be a lot of attention we have to pay to the community of artists around that. And we said, well, it's better for us to spend our time on a utility feature. So we put out print on demand first, and then immediately after that, we will enable True Level.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to mention about True Level is that will definitely sort out the artwork and in terms of experience level for the creators. And print on demand is definitely going to raise up the quality standards of the artwork as well. And I really do expect that the combination of print on demand and True Level is really going to refine our offerings, from the artists, and I think it's something definitely that's going to be that we're looking forward to. We were seeing so much spam artwork when Nick was doing his buying blitzes, and I expect now that if artists are uploading artwork that isn't selling, they'll probably either drop their pricing or they'll start working on maybe offering something a little bit different. So I think it's really healthy, and I think it's good for the artist. I think it's good for the system, and I think it's good for the art buyer. So we'll definitely see how all of this plays out, but I'm really excited and looking forward to that. Digital downloads, would they be print on demand?
I don't quite understand the question.
It's not really a digital download. You're either licensing the image, or you're licensing it for print on demand. That's my understanding, right, Nick? On
Yeah,
how it's going to
yeah,
be set up.
yeah. The versatility of our licensing model means that the same artwork can be licensed in a variety of different ways. So if you're licensing for a digital collectible, which is what the current license is, if you go read the license, it has very limited scope on what you can do with it. So if a person once they have purchased that digital collectible, they can go and print it on something. But notice that the the maximum resolution of that file is probably not going to be enough to print a very large item. It's certainly not. Most artists are not uploading 9,000 by 6,000 files, and as a result, you can really just print it maybe on a hat or a mug or something like that. And that requires you as the buyer to go through that effort yourself. You have to go to a print on demand supplier, upload the artwork. It's all the workflow that's a pain, you know. So what we do is we make it possible for someone to do it with a digital token, an on-chain token, where they have licensed it. There's proof of that, and that's all they were licensed to do is to own um, the artwork as a printed product. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I think she clarified we can sell a download file. Some sell packages of digital elements. Oh yeah, so that's we'll leave that business to Gumroad. It has no place here on in Web3. Honestly, that's very straightforward business model. Here's a zip file of something. Pay some money and download it. Um, there's really not much value we can add there. So Gumroad can keep doing that.
Okay, great. Okay, loving these groundbreaking POD features, but how difficult will it be for our competitors to replicate them? Does Vitruveo have any protection or patents in place?
Yeah, but they've
Not at
already
this
addressed
time.
this. That
Yeah.
competitors can replicate. They've had a decade to replicate it. Um, you know, um, so we are 100% open. We don't plan on having a patent for anything, and we want to have all our software also open and available to everybody.
How certain do you feel that we can reach $8 to $10 Vitru on the sex the first year with such MVPs? I don't. I'm not a fan of making price predictions, especially in this market. But what I can say is I wrote a post the other day. I said if we were at $1 to $2 by Q4, and then maybe start creeping up, scaling from there in Q1 by 2020. What year are we in? 2026. I think that's when we'll start to see things creep up. Price for a blockchain is really bent on projects, volume, and supply. Those three things. If you have a low supply, you're going to have a higher price. If you have a lot of volume on a low supply, you have a much higher price. So I think that's why Nick and I are really focused on the MVPs and building out revenue and true utility projects is what's going to bring the volume on chain. And I know we're in talks with Age, the other co-founder of Vitruveo, to really start focusing on taking a CSO role where he can start going after other projects. And as we have capital from Flix Fund, as well as the gaming vertical and print on demand, we can then start offering hackathons and offering grants and that sort of thing. So we'll have to do this in step. But I'd be happy $1 to $2 by Q4. Could happen much, much quicker. But again, with the supply that we have, I think it'll take a little bit of time. I think stability is going to be the first goal, and we'll have to do things in steps. If it happens sooner, great. If not, I'm totally fine with that. But I really want revenue over price action. As a trader, you want price action. As a business, you want revenue. So we're really shifting gears to focus on that. But it's a good question. I think you're probably referencing from last week whenever I was talking about other layer ones that whenever they started, it took about a year to get to $8 to $10, somewhere around there. That would put us in March 2026, would be about a year. I'd be ecstatic if it was $8 to $10. So cross your fingers. Will there still be a need for an insider channel in Discord? The answer is yes. That's primarily what the passports are going to be used for, and we'll have an update on that either next week or the following spotlight. How is gallery onboarding going? Nick, you want to tackle that one?
Yeah. So now that we have our stores feature up, the next step is to follow up with the galleries that I had talked to. I decided as a strategic move, since we've got print on demand almost wrapped up, that it's more potent to go and express to them that you can have a store with print on demand. So that's why I'm kind of holding off a little bit on following up with them to get that going. So we'll do it together. We'll once we have print on demand here by the end of this month or sooner, I'll reapproach the galleries that have said yes, they want to come on board, and we'll showcase. It's not only about being able to create an online store instantly, but also to have that print on demand capability, which I think opens up a new revenue source for those galleries. So they will love it.
Yeah. The Vitruveo market just leveled itself out. That was quick. Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty quick when volume is thin and when liquidity is low. But I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Will the high resolution of the artwork be viewable by people, or will the POD version of the artwork be shielded and only used for printing? It's a good question.
No one can view that because you upload it, and the next time it gets handled is by our API sending it to Gelato. So there is no access to it by anybody.
Yeah. Will Trump rule in crypto? Will it help Vitruveo's future? Yes. This is just a personal opinion. I think any having a legislation or administration that is pro crypto only helps our cause. It helps our industry. It helps the market. I think that institutional capital has been on hold for the longest time because of regulation. And now that SEC has dropped most of their suits against Coinbase, they've suspended it against XRP, and they've dropped it. I think there's about 2 or 3 other lawsuits that they've dropped. I think that it's definitely sending a positive shift. Now, all of a sudden, B of A and PayPal are talking about offering their own stablecoin. Everybody sees that digital finance with cryptocurrency is going to be the future. It's cheaper, it's transparent, it's especially when you're talking about AI. There's less manipulation, there's less loss in the sense of managing your business. With Doge coming in and cleaning house within the US government, with the crypto regulations, I think we have a really, really bright future because with regulation comes adoption. And I think that once we get the SEC kind of starts building in, what is a security, what is not a security in the sense of how it relates to cryptocurrency, that is only going to help our efforts and facilitate adoption, which is great. At that point, I think the next phase will be simplifying the onboarding process for new holders. So I think a lot of the next projects that I think will do really well is just onboarding non-crypto savvy consumers, retail consumers into the market and taking a lot of the complexity away from crypto. I think that's going to be the next big thing.
I know R is a little bit nuanced in his question there, but I just want to point out that that word rule, we are still a democracy. So as far as we know, so it's not a rule, it's
King Trump.
administration.
Yeah.
Trump administration.
Yeah. And who knows, in 4 years, it could all get repealed and all this nonsense come back. But it's definitely a positive step forward. And the more institutional investors that get on board, and I think we'll see long-term benefits for the market as a whole. Mike, why is it important for prices to be almost leveled out on the DEX and the SEX? The reason is there's going to be natural disparity, but what you don't want is twice the amount, because if we're doing marketing and we're marketing Wix and an investor sees that it's 40 cents on Wix, but then again it's 17 cents on the DEX. It's just it's not a good look. So I think that normal arbitrage, you don't have restrictions, you don't have some of these other things that we had in place before. So things will just naturally balance out, and I think that's a more traditional approach, and that's kind of what we want to do. What happens to Vitro share from DEX fees? I think it's going to be the same. We just have to wait for more volume so that the DEX fees can generate. I mean, the Vitro token right now is still on sale. I mean, it's the lowest, probably the lowest it's ever been at 0.012. I think it's a great time once volume starts picking up to purchase some Vitro. If you want to take share in the DEX fees, definitely a good strategy while the price is low. A lot of the DEX coins, when you look at Cake, when you look at some of these other ones, they're going for $4 on some of these mature platforms. So I think it's exciting to see where that's going to go in the future. Let me see. I'm just looking at the other comments, Nick, see if we've got anything else. Yeah, I think that's about it, Nick. Everything else looks pretty good.
All right. I know that there's gonna be some really more exciting things happening with some community projects this weekend. So Um, it's really fun to have this now open and have more exciting things happening in the next couple of days. And yeah, next week we'll have the workshop for artists on print on demand. And I have not forgotten, we are working on implementing everything happens in VUSD in your vault until the point you claim. So that feature is also being tested right now. And we'll plan on releasing some of that next week also. So lots of things happening for artists next week. We've also got some IRL events that we have sponsored and are planning and things like that. So as those that information becomes available, we'll let you know. But yeah, this is a momentous occasion. I'm very happy that we are here today. Thanks everyone. So we have almost 400 people on the stream here. So go trade, go buy some Vitru. It's going to be available in large supply here very soon. So have fun. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you again soon.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you in Discord. Okay. Take care.